Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Declan Rice has communicated his decision to West Ham, and the board has told them he will be going to Arsenal. That is where his final destination is going to be. So the price must be agreed and the deal must be agreed with Arsenal Football Club. Now, a lot of talk has been going on Sky Sports with Declan giving us a big update on this, still talking about personal terms, talking about things like West Ham insisting on a player in this deal. And of course, he's also been talking about the fact that Arsenal do have other potential targets should the Declan Rice deal fail, which at the moment feels very unlikely. So we're going to be talking about that in this video. Jakub Kiwior is the main target to replace Kim Min-jae at Napoli. Of course, we signed him in January. Quite very promising centre back, but Kim Min-jae, if he comes to Manchester United, then definitely Napoli will need to replace him. Jakub Kiwior is the main target for that. I want your thoughts, I want your opinions here. Do you think Jakub Kiwior needs to go? If we could sign a player like Edmond Tapsoba, or if we could sign a player like probably I don't know, Mohamed, if we could bring in a centre back on that left hand side, a bigger centre back, a main centre back, do you think Jakub Kiwior could be on his way out? Is it okay? Or are you impressed that you would love to keep him around? Let me know in the comment box below. And of course, we'll be talking about the injury update around Arsenal. William Saliba is not expected to return early or in time for the pre-season. Okay, so because I've been looking at a couple of players that are going to be coming back from Kaya Kainak. He says Zinchenko, Martinelli, and all the other boys are back, apart from William Saliba and Mohamed El Neni. So we'll be talking about that as well, because it's it puts us in a very interesting position. We could start the season potentially with William Saliba having not played in pre-season, but we'll be talking about that in this video. Hit the like button, let's get that one to 500. Thank you so much for joining me each and every time, and thank you so much for your thoughts, love, and compassion in the comment box below. But let's get into the Declan Rice story. Now, Declan has been speaking about this one on Sky Sports in the last few seconds before I came to record this video. And one, he said that Arsenal do not have a problem with Declan Rice on personal terms. Now, there have been a few stories that Arsenal might be I might find it hard to agree a deal with Declan Rice, especially when it comes to personal terms. He might need he might want a fee between 270 to 300,000. That is not going to be the case, according to Declan. There is no problem on personal terms. Arsenal definitely do know what the player wants, and the player know what Arsenal are willing to offer. So the only problem is Arsenal and West Ham have not agreed a structure, a final fee and things like that. But at the moment, personal terms are not expected to be a problem. Now, of course, we are also understanding today that Declan Rice has communicated his decision to the West Ham board and the higher hierarchy at the club that is going to be moving to Arsenal, that he wants to stay in London and his final destination is going to be Arsenal. So they should agree a deal between Arsenal and West Ham, right? I mean, that came in a little bit earlier today. I was looking at some of the subsequent posts to see if there is any information backing that up. But Fabrizio Romano today on That's Football, he did an interview on That's Football, with Mark Goldbridge. Literally not Mark Goldbridge, but on Mark Goldbridge channel, and he said that at the moment Arsenal are matching the point. The player is already keen on joining them. West Ham know of that decision, and at the moment there is nothing standing between Arsenal and Declan Rice, right? So between Arsenal and Declan Rice, there is nothing in between. Keen on joining. Personal terms not expected to be a problem. I'm not saying that we have agreed personal terms. I am saying that we have sent in a proposal to Declan Rice and his representatives, and they feel they can agree to that. They feel there is no problem if they sign for Arsenal. The deal will be absolutely lucrative for them. So he's told West Ham, and especially David Sullivan, the chairman, that his priority is to go to London. His priority is to stay in London and to got to Arsenal. So if they're looking to agree a deal with all of these parties on board, Manchester United, who Damien Sheth have said are not even in the game, Bayern Munich, who Sheth thinks is just more like a smoke screen, a decoy. It doesn't look like they're also serious. So I think West Ham now know they must agree a deal, with Arsenal, and that is the player's priority. But also more from Sky Sports, what I've seen is that there is the appetite to get the deal done early. I think we've talked about that a couple of occasions now. That Arsenal want to get this one done to beat competition as quickly as possible. We need to get it done and dusted. The West Ham, of course, know that their financial position is not that great. If they want to sign the top talents that will help them in the UEFA Europa League, if they could win the UEFA Conference League and UEFA Europa League back to back, that would potentially make them a bigger club, like at least in the last 5 years, definitely. So they know that if they are going to do big business, they will need Declan Rice out and the money in their bank as well. So that's what we're hearing at the moment. Players communicated this decision to West Ham and the hierarchy, and also passing terms are not expected to be a problem. But the problem here is that West Ham are insisting on another player in the deal. They have set their eyes on Emile Smith-Rowe, and Damien Sheth says that a deal could be agreed quickly, but West Ham are saying they need a player in the deal as well. Now, I think West Ham know who they want from Arsenal. They want Emile Smith-Rowe. Mikel Arteta has made it very clear he doesn't want to let go of Emile. Not a part of Rice, not a part of any deal in this summer. And I think it's the right decision. I think that's what should be done. That is the right call from Mikel Arteta. In my opinion, I don't know if anyone will agree with me. I think West Ham know that they do not have any other backing from other clubs. They know there won't be a bidding war. It's not going to happen. So all they've got to do now is milk the situation until Arsenal threaten to walk away, right? Because if Arsenal threaten to walk away right now, I think West Ham would budge, to be honest. If Arsenal decided to go, this is what we're offering, £80 million, quit or we go, West Ham will be like, who else is going to give us £80 million? No one in the current market. Let's agree a deal. But I think they also feel that Arsenal really want Declan Rice, and that's why they're going. If you want to sign him, if you want him at your club, then you definitely have to give us Emile Smith-Rowe, which I totally disagree with. If Emile Smith-Rowe goes to West Ham, he's going to become another Declan Rice, and it will take another 80-90 million to sign him. We shouldn't do what Manchester United did with Jadon Sancho, or what Lukaku, or what Chelsea did with Romelu Lukaku. I mean, selling a player for 30 or even less than that, or letting him go for free, and then you later sign him for hundreds of millions. It's happened with Sanchez, it's happened with Pogba, it's happened with Lukaku at Chelsea. Arsenal decided against it with just Fabregas, and I don't think it was the right call, to be honest. I think Fabregas going on to win 2 Premier League titles, or was it 1 or 2 Premier League titles with Chelsea, it was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace, because we had a chance to sign him fast, and Arsene Wenger didn't take that chance. But anyway, Arsenal do have alternatives as well, according to Sky Sports. Damien Sheth says that Arsenal have alternatives. So should this deal prove problematic, should the deal prove that it's going to be hard to do, Arsenal do have alternatives. Now, the alternatives have not been mentioned, but Damien Sheth say that Moises Caicedo is a name that is not going to go away. I don't think Moises Caicedo, I just want to do a clarification here. I don't think Moises Caicedo is a backup or an alternative to Declan Rice. I think both players have very, very similar abilities, but when it comes to versatility, both of them give you something very, very different. I think with Moises Caicedo, if you wanted to play him in another position other than his natural position, you could play him at right back. I think you could play him there. You could also play him maybe potentially at right centre back, right? I think with Rice, his stronger aspect of the game, obviously, is now at CDM, ball progression, breaking play, and then just making sure that midfield is solid. So I think Rice is the priority, as much as Moises Caicedo. We might not be there in time. We might not do the deals in time for us to get both of them done. And maybe Premier League clubs might feel that that's more like a threat, giving them Caicedo and Rice. That will be a threat. Yeah, I understand. I will definitely understand that. But apart from that, in my opinion, Rice is an independent transfer priority. Caicedo is also an independent transfer priority. Both of them have been right since January. But let's wait and see what's going to come out of there. Now, Napoli do want to sign Jakub Kiwior, and they've made him their main target if Kim Min-jae leaves Naples to join Manchester United. I think Kim Min-jae will leave Naples. I think he will leave Napoli. He has a 45 million pound release clause. How can you be so dumb to put a 45 million pound release clause in a player's contract like Kim Min-jae? Like, literally through halfway the season, they should have extended it. They knew he was the best centre back in Europe right now. They knew he was the best centre back in the Italian Serie A. And they did nothing. So they're going to lose him for pennies, and they're looking at Jakub Kiwior to replace him. They're looking at two Arsenal players, Kiwior and Florian Balogun. Now, Kiwior is one of those players that have impressed me a little bit. I'm not overly impressed, but I'm going to say the chances that he has got, he has taken them more than and better than Fabio Vieira. Because I think Vieira also got almost the same, amount of chances, and he had a chance to, show the manager, this is what I can do, this is why I should start ahead of Odegaard or Xhaka. He didn't do that. Kiwior, on the other side, in his first game against, I think, Sporting Lisbon, it was poor. It was absolutely poor. But after that, I kind of feel like he's settled in. I really kind of feel like he became, settled. And in the latter part of the season, when we were, struggling with injuries, Saliba is out, injured, Rob Holding is doing all this kind of crap and nonsense in defense, I think he really settled in very, very well. He really settled in very well. So I might not be in consensus with selling him. I might not be. But if we brought in a player like Edmond Tapsoba or Mohamed, the name just keeps on skipping my mind, right? I've talked about him in the last video, the boy at RB Leipzig. The boy the name just keeps on skipping my mind, right? Is it Simikan, right? Mohamed Simikan. If we could bring in Simikan or Tapsoba, I would be open to selling Jakub Kiwior at a profit. I think Arsenal spent around 20 million euros on him. So if we are getting around 30 million euros, maybe it's a deal that could happen. But I don't see that one happen. We've done our keep or sell. I put him there in the keep category, and that shows you that he's going to be around for quite some time. Great player to have in the squad, can play in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and even in the UEFA Champions League when you've won 3 goals maybe to nil at half time, and you want to, rest some players. Jakub Kiwior could be a very, very great player, and it's just joining in January. I don't see him going anywhere. Like, not now. Now, there is some injury news also coming in through from the club. Kaya Kainak has given us some couple of injury boosts, but also something to worry about, right? So he's said that the following players will be available for preseason and will be available at the beginning of preseason, but a few players are excluded. Alexander Zinchenko is back and ready for preseason. I think with Zinchenko, the problem was not that big. He's had these troubling injuries, I think 3 in the campaign. We pray that next season he can actually have, a more consistent run, because he's such a very vital player, important player for us, no? So he's back for preseason, and we expect him to be, with the squad starting with July. Okay, that's positive. The other injury update that we did receive was on William Saliba, and doesn't show that he's going to be back for preseason. I mean, I've looked at it and again, and it doesn't show that William Saliba is okay for preseason. And it just gave me this kind of thinking that could Arsenal start the new season with William Saliba just coming from injury, and he's not had this, preseason, he's not played in preseason games. Because, listen, his injury was quite huge. We know that. His injury was quite very, very huge, and 11 games, it cost us, the Premier League, and now he's not even getting, much better. I saw him limping earlier on at the end of the season. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know where he is, but I'll try to find out why William Saliba is not ready for pre-season. Gabriel Martinelli is back as well. I think Martinelli, again, it was just something very, very small. I'm not really sure if Partey had an injury, but it looked like he had an injury. But if he had one, he's absolutely okay as well. That's a massive boost. And Takehiro Tomiyasu is also back. Now, that is huge. That is absolutely huge. Next season, these are players that I want Arsenal to give a chance to see if they are good enough. Takehiro Tomiyasu, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, Jakub Kiwior, Leandro Trossard, and Eddie Nketiah. With Leandro Trossard, I don't mean whether he is good enough. I mean, give him the chances. He's shown that he's a superstar. He's a superboy. Like, just give him the chances. Just give him the game time. Let him shine. That's what I'm trying to talk about. But the rest of the players, they've got to prove themselves to the manager. All right. But listen, huge transfer window ahead of us. Big summer plans ahead of us. We'll be diving into each and every story. You know me, guys. Whether it is true or not true, we'll react to it together. I'll see you right in the next one.